미안하다. 깜빡했다, 셀카. 잘 자라. 난 씻고 자러 간다. 수고해라.
Have you ever wondered what would happen if one single sentence from Jungkook could change everything ARMY thought they knew about his future? What if the smallest smile, the briefest pause, or a mysterious message carried a meaning so powerful that millions of fans around the world would spend days trying to uncover its secret? Stay with this story until the very end, because every detail matters, and the final revelation may completely change the way you imagine the next chapter of Jungkook's journey. Before we begin, don't forget to share your own theory in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoy emotional BTS fanfiction, and subscribe for more fictional stories inspired by BTS. The evening sky above Seoul glowed with soft shades of orange and purple as the city slowly settled into its usual rhythm. Inside a quiet recording studio, the lights remained on long after sunset. Most of the staff had already gone home, leaving only a handful of producers working behind the glass. The silence inside the booth was almost comforting, broken only by the gentle sound of music echoing through the room. Jungkook stood alone in front of the microphone. He had been recording for hours, yet instead of looking exhausted, he seemed unusually thoughtful. Every time the music stopped, he stared at the lyrics in front of him as if they reminded him of something only he could understand. One producer finally asked, "Do you want to try another take?" Jungkook smiled politely. "I think, not yet." The answer sounded simple, but something about the way he said it felt different. It wasn't hesitation. It wasn't uncertainty. It sounded like someone standing at the edge of a brand new beginning. The producer exchanged curious glances with the others, but nobody asked another question. They respected Jungkook enough to know that sometimes silence carried more meaning than words. Meanwhile, thousands of kilometers away, ARMY around the world continued discussing every little update they could find. Some noticed that Jungkook had been writing more often. Others believed he looked calmer than ever before. A few fans even pointed out that his recent photos carried an atmosphere unlike anything they had seen in previous years. Nobody could explain why. It was only a feeling. But ARMY had learned long ago that sometimes feelings were the first clues. The next morning, the internet exploded over something incredibly small. Jungkook uploaded a single photograph.
No caption. No explanation.
Just a picture. At first glance, it appeared ordinary. A cup of coffee rested beside an open notebook near a large window. Warm sunlight filled the room while a guitar leaned quietly against the wall. Millions of people looked at it for only a few seconds. Then someone noticed something unusual. Inside the notebook, barely visible beneath the sunlight, were several handwritten English words. Next chapter. That was all. Nothing else. Within minutes, screenshots flooded social media. Was it the title of a song? An album? A documentary? A world tour? Or something much bigger? No one knew. Hashtags climbed to the top of worldwide trends almost instantly. Fans zoomed into every corner of the image searching for hidden messages. Some believed the guitar symbolized a return to his roots. Others thought the sunrise represented hope. Some even claimed the coffee cup had been intentionally placed to point toward the notebook. Of course, nobody could confirm any theory. But that uncertainty only made the excitement grow. Late that afternoon, BTS members gathered for a casual dinner. The atmosphere was relaxed. Laughter filled the restaurant as old stories resurfaced one after another. Taehyung leaned back in his chair before smiling toward Jungkook. "So?" Jungkook looked up. "So? I saw your photo." Jungkook laughed. "I figured everyone would. You knew people would overthink it. They always do." Everyone burst into laughter. Even RM couldn't hide his smile. "To be fair," RM admitted, "I looked at that notebook too." Jin nodded dramatically. "I zoomed in." "You?" "Of course." "What did you think?" Jin shrugged. "I thought maybe you forgot to close it." The table erupted with laughter again. For a brief moment, everything felt wonderfully ordinary. Friends sharing jokes. Brothers enjoying dinner. Yet beneath the laughter, every member sensed there was something Jungkook hadn't said. Not because he wanted to hide it. Simply because the time wasn't right. After dinner, Taehyung and Jungkook decided to take a short walk through a quiet riverside park. The city lights reflected beautifully across the water. Neither of them spoke for several minutes. Finally, Taehyung broke the silence. "You've been thinking a lot lately." Jungkook nodded. "I have." "Nervous?" "A little." "Excited?" "A lot." Taehyung smiled knowingly. "You don't have to tell me." Jungkook looked surprised. "I don't."
No.
"Why?" "Because whatever you're planning, your eyes already gave you away." Jungkook looked toward the river. "What do they say?" "They say you're finally choosing something that truly makes you happy." The younger singer remained silent. Not because the words were wrong, but because they were completely right. For years, Jungkook had spent countless hours perfecting every performance, every recording, every stage. He loved music. He loved BTS. He loved ARMY. But somewhere deep inside, another dream had quietly begun growing. Not replacing the old one, expanding it. A dream that scared him because it felt so personal. That night he returned home unable to sleep. Instead of lying down, he opened the same notebook seen in the photograph. Its pages were filled with unfinished melodies, handwritten reflections, random sketches, and ideas collected over several years. Near the final page, one sentence stood alone. "When the time comes, I hope they understand." He stared at those words for several minutes. Then he gently closed the notebook. Across the world, ARMY continued discussing endless theories. Some believed an announcement would happen within days. Others predicted months. Several fan artists created beautiful illustrations imagining Jungkook standing beneath an endless sunrise. One fan wrote something that quickly spread online. "No matter what his future looks like, if Jungkook smiles, we'll walk beside him." Thousands agreed. Millions liked the message. Although Jungkook never saw that exact post, somehow its warmth reached him anyway. The following morning, his phone buzzed repeatedly. Messages from the members filled the screen. Jimin had sent a simple heart emoji. J-Hope wrote, "Whatever happens next, let's keep making memories." RM added, "Your future doesn't erase your past. It builds on it." Jin somehow included 3 food photos for absolutely no reason. Suga simply wrote one sentence, "Trust your music." Jungkook smiled. He didn't reply immediately. Instead, he looked out the window as the first sunlight appeared across the horizon. The city was waking up. Birds filled the morning air. Everything felt strangely peaceful. Then, almost without thinking, he whispered to himself, "It's almost time." At that exact moment, somewhere across the globe, millions of ARMY had absolutely no idea that the biggest hint about Jungkook's future had not appeared in a photograph. It had already begun with a quiet decision inside his own heart. The days that followed became unlike anything ARMY had experienced in months. Every new photo, every short message, every appearance by Jungkook seemed to carry an invisible weight, as though each moment was quietly leading toward a destination that no one could yet see. The excitement was no longer fueled by a single mysterious notebook or a photograph with hidden words. Instead, it grew from an unshakable feeling that something important was unfolding behind the scenes. Inside HYB's practice building, the atmosphere remained as busy as ever. Producers moved between recording rooms, choreographers discussed upcoming rehearsals, and creative teams worked late into the evening. Yet there was one room that seemed different from the rest. Its door stayed closed most of the time. Whenever someone entered, they left with thoughtful expressions instead of excitement. Nobody outside the room knew exactly what was happening. Even among the staff, only a small group had access. Jungkook preferred it that way. He wasn't hiding because he wanted to create mystery. He simply wanted the freedom to dream before the world began analyzing every step. One afternoon, RM happened to walk past the room while carrying a notebook of his own. Before he could continue down the hallway, he heard faint guitar chords drifting through the door. He paused. The melody was unlike anything he had heard from Jungkook before. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was gentle, almost cinematic, carrying a quiet sense of hope mixed with nostalgia. RM smiled to himself. Without knocking, he continued walking. Some songs deserved to remain unfinished until their creator was ready. Hours later, Jungkook finally emerged from the studio. His hair was slightly messy, and he looked exhausted, but there was a peaceful confidence on his face that hadn't been there only weeks earlier. As he stepped into the hallway, he found Suga leaning against the wall with a cup of coffee. "You've been in there a long time," Suga said. "I lost track of time." "That's usually a good sign." Jungkook laughed softly. "I think I finally found the sound I've been searching for." Suga nodded without asking another question. Years of making music had taught him something important. Sometimes, artists didn't need advice. They only needed someone to believe in them. "You know," Suga finally said, "people think the hardest part of making music is writing the song. It isn't."
No.
"What is it?" "Being brave enough to let people hear who you really are." Those words lingered in Jungkook's mind long after the conversation ended. That evening, he returned home carrying several notebooks filled with lyrics. He spread them across his living room floor, reading pages he had written years ago. Some lyrics spoke about fear. Others reflected loneliness. Many celebrated hope. One page caught his attention more than the others. At the top, written in slightly faded ink, were the words, "Who am I when the stage lights turn off?" He remembered writing that question late one night after finishing an exhausting concert. Back then, he hadn't known the answer. Now, years later, he believed he finally did. The following weekend, BTS gathered at a private studio simply to spend time together. There were no cameras, no interviews, and no schedules waiting outside. Jin was busy preparing food, insisting that everyone taste his newest recipe. J-Hope filled the room with laughter by attempting dance moves that became increasingly ridiculous with each passing minute. Jimin laughed so hard he nearly dropped his drink. Taehyung quietly played a melody on the piano while RM hummed along. For a while, it felt as though nothing in the world had changed. Jungkook watched the scene with a smile. This was home. Not a building. Not a city. These people. These friendships. These memories. Eventually, Jimin noticed Jungkook staring into the distance. "What are you thinking about?" Jungkook hesitated before answering. "I'm thinking about how lucky I am." Jimin tilted his head. "That's all." And I'm wondering if people will understand my next step." The room gradually became quieter. Not because anyone felt uncomfortable. They simply realized that Jungkook was sharing something from deep inside his heart. Taehyung turned away from the piano. "What if they don't?" Jungkook looked down for a moment. "Then I'll keep showing them who I am until they do." J-Hope smiled warmly. "That's the Jungkook we've always known." RM added, "The people who truly support you won't be afraid of your growth." Suga nodded. "Growth isn't leaving people behind. It's inviting them forward." Those simple conversations became the reassurance Jungkook didn't know he needed. Days later, another unexpected moment captured the attention of fans. A short video appeared online showing Jungkook leaving the practice building after midnight. He looked tired but happy. As reporters politely greeted him from a distance, one shouted a question. "Can you tell us anything about your future plans?" Jungkook stopped walking. For a brief second, everyone expected him to wave politely and continue toward the waiting car. Instead, he smiled. "The future," he paused, "is something I've been preparing for with all my heart. Nothing more."
No explanation. No announcement.
He bowed respectfully before getting into the vehicle. The clip lasted less than 20 seconds. Yet within an hour, millions of people had watched it. ARMY replayed those words again and again. Preparing for with all my heart. Why choose those words? Why now? Every interpretation seemed possible. Some believed a solo project was coming. Others imagined a creative documentary. A few wondered whether Jungkook had begun exploring completely new artistic dreams. Meanwhile, Jungkook sat quietly in the backseat, watching the city lights pass by through the window. His manager glanced at him. "You handled that well." "I hope so." Feeling nervous? "A little." "Regretting anything?" Jungkook smiled. "Not anymore." The manager nodded. "You've changed." Jungkook looked outside again. "I think I've finally grown into the person I wanted to become." That night, sleep refused to come easily. Instead, Jungkook walked onto the balcony of his apartment. The streets below were peaceful. The cool evening breeze carried distant sounds of traffic mixed with the occasional laughter of strangers passing by. He remembered the teenager who had once arrived in Seoul carrying nothing but enormous dreams and endless determination. Back then, the future felt impossibly far away. Now it stood directly in front of him. Not as a destination, as another beginning. His phone buzzed. It was a message from Taehyun. Can't sleep either.